Afternoon, I'm Max Brantley with the Arkansas Times on Friday, March 25th, Good Friday in Arkansas. Still some news today. Governor Asa Hutchinson had a news conference this morning to talk to the press about legislation now circulating to put in effect his plan to continue the Medicaid expansion under Obamacare, but with some changes, also some proposals to switch to managed care of certain Medicaid finance services to save the state some more money. I think the bottom line from this press conference was that he doesn't have yet the votes he needs to do either thing. His plan, so-called Arkansas Works on the Obamacare expansion, has broad support, but perhaps not 75% support. He's getting a strong pushback on managed care for Medicaid services from health care providers, even though they've set apart nursing homes, one of the most powerful lobbies to keep them protected and keep their money coming in. He also defended his plan to drug test welfare recipients. He said this isn't about saving money, it's about helping people on drugs. The experience in other states is this finds very few people in need of drug treatment services, but it does seem to make people happy about putting this onerous provision on top of people who receive welfare payments. News today from the federal government. The Department of Energy has approved participation in the Clean Line Energy Project, particularly the Plains and Eastern Line, which would run 700 miles from Oklahoma and Texas through Arkansas to Tennessee to supply electricity generated by wind power. The Arkansas congressional delegation, all Republicans, think this is a terrible thing, that it takes transmission line routing away from the states, and they're against it. These same people are all for, by the way, a slurry oil pipeline through the midsection of the United States to take Canadian tar sands to refineries in Texas. Of course, that line, which is much dirtier, much more dangerous, doesn't pass through Arkansas. Some of it's about what's in your backyard. There are pros and cons on the clean energy project through Arkansas. The Sierra Club's for it. Landowners in Arkansas are unhappy about the blight of a high power line going across their property, which is understandable. They say this may eventually be resolved in court. The February unemployment rate in Arkansas was 4.2%, the lowest since 2000 when President Clinton was president. We're ahead of the United States on unemployment rate, which is 4.9% nationwide. We have a lot of people working at low-paid jobs, no doubt about that, but it's better to be working than not working at all. A new poll by CNN shows that a vast majority of U.S. voters, about 2/3, say the Senate should get to work, do its business, and have a confirmation hearing on Merrick Garland, the president's nomination for a seat on the U.S. Supreme Court. Arkansas's U.S. senators have no intention of going along with that. The New York Times yesterday had an interesting story that followed up on a subject we talked about earlier in the week, and that's brain injuries resulting from football. It turns out that reports the NFL used to show that concussions were an overstated risk among football players lacked a lot of important data. Some teams didn't contribute information, including Jerry Jones's Dallas Cowboys, where a very famous quarterback was among those who suffered concussions but didn't get reported to the NFL during the time this research was done. You may remember earlier this week that Jerry Jones disputed scientific evidence that football can lead to some degenerative brain disorders. He knows best. I did mention then, I'll mention now, that they were wearing helmets when Jerry Jones played football for the University of Arkansas. Finally, Tom Cotton had an interview with MSNBC. He was asked directly if he thought Donald Trump could be commander-in-chief, and he said, well, of course, he was a leading candidate for president in the Republican Party, and of course he could be commander-in-chief, and furthermore, any Republican would be better than Hillary Clinton. A Trump-Cotton ticket, I leave you that for the Eastern weekend and your prayerful consideration. I'm Max Brantley. I'll be back next week.
You feel it in your heart, the spirit of Little Rock. We've had that spirit since 1927, helping build our city by producing decades of leaders in the heart of our state. We are the heart of business and innovation, the heart of politics and government, the heart of arts and culture, and in our city beats the heart of a Trojan. UALR, we are Little Rock's team and Little Rock's University.